All right, so this is going to be a lesson on mole conversions. And what happens is we're going to use our conversion factors. I've already told you that we have 3 conversion factors. Our conversion factors are going to be molar mass, which is going to be grams over moles, or moles over grams. It doesn't matter which way you use it. Your units will tell you what to do. The other thing will be Avogadro's number, and that will be particles over moles, or moles over particles. Again, your units will tell you what to do. All right. The third one will be what we call molar volume. Now, this is a new one. We've not talked about this in class before. Molar volume is 22.4 liters per mole, or mole over 22.4 liters. Now, this has to be at standard tension pressure. Okay? So here's the first thing we're going to do. I'm going to give you a problem, and I'm going to show you the idea behind using a conversion factor. So let's suppose I say I have 18.3 grams of, let's do potassium chloride, and I want to change that to moles of potassium chloride. All right, so I need to be able to change that, which is very common. That's a very common kind of problem, because remember how I told you that we can't compare atoms and molecules or anything until they're in moles with each other? So a lot of times when we have a chemical reaction, we're going to have to get it to moles before we do anything. So let me extend this page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up something called dimensional analysis. All right. Now, I told you a while ago, and if you didn't get this down, you need to make sure you get this down. Anytime I have grams in the problem, I'm going to use molar mass. All right. So I'm going to look up from the periodic table the mass of KCl. K is 39, chlorine is 35.5. That comes out to be a mass of 74.5. All right. Now, there's 2 things I can do. I can say 74.5 grams per mole, or 1 mole per 74.5 grams. Since I have grams on top, let me change the colors. Since I have grams on top here, I'm going to want grams to be on bottom, because I want that to cancel out, right? So that means I'm going to have grams on bottom and moles on top. So if I had the number for this as being 74.5 grams per mole, and I want grams to be on bottom, I put the 74.5 right there and the 1 mole on top. When I do that, grams, and this is of KCl, moles of KCl, grams of KCl cancel out. The only thing left is moles of KCl. That's what I want. I do that math. Now, I have a number on top and a number on bottom, so I'm going to divide it. So I'm going to say 18.3 divided by 74.5, and my answer comes out to be 0.24, I have 3 significant digits, 6 moles of KCl. All right, so now what I want to do is I'm going to reverse that, right? So the problem we just did, I started with grams, I wanted to find moles. Well, what if I start with moles and want to find grams? Okay, so let me give you a problem. Let's say I have 0.0493 moles of hydrochloric acid. And I want to figure out how many grams of hydrochloric acid that is. All right, which would be a very common problem if you are trying to figure out how much product would be left over after you did a chemical reaction. All right, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm always going to write down whatever number is given to me first. So I'm going to write down 0.0493 moles HCl. Then I'm going to do my crossbar. All right. Now remember this crossbar, the up and down line, anything beside each other would be multiplied, anything on top and bottom would be divided. Right? Does that make sense? So here I have HCl. I'm looking for grams. Remember, if I have grams in the problem, I'm going to use molar mass from the periodic table. All right, so now I'm going to look up the mass of HCl. Chlorine is 35.5, hydrogen is 1, so that's going to equal 36.5. Now, remember, I can write that 36.5 grams over moles, or 1 mole over 36.5 grams. Which way do you think I want it? Okay, so what I want is I want to put the moles on bottom so it'll cancel out, the grams on top because I want my units to be in grams. So I'm going to put here my 36.5 grams of HCl in one, that's supposed to be a C, sorry, in 1 mole of HCl. Look what happens to my units. Mole of HCl cancel out. Grams of HCl will be the only thing left, right, for my unit. So now I'm going to multiply because those two numbers are beside each other. So I'm going to say 0.0493 times 36.5, and I get 1.799, so I'm around that 1.80 grams of hydrochloric acid.